Hello, my name is Joshua Keith, and this is theburningcoal.com, a website dedicated to God's glory, His grace, and our response to it. Today, for our Monday motivation, I want to talk about the idea of showing self-control. Now, it's very easy for us to lose control in our society in this day and age. One of the things that we have a disadvantage about is just how easy everything comes to us. Think about all the information that is accessible based off of your cell phone. Everything you can do with it. You can order yourself food. You can look anything up on the internet that you want. You can watch TV. You can look at hundreds and thousands of different posts by people where you're getting these information. And we have all of this available at our fingertips. All of these distractions, all of these things that we may even desire after. And it's just there. And so because of that, we can be a society that shows absolutely no self-control. And in particular, we may not show self-control about the most important things. Notice what Paul says in 1 Corinthians 9:25. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable. Paul here uses the example of an athlete, and I think this is very telling because when you think about our professional athletes, the Olympic athletes that are here in our day and age, one of the things that you notice is just how dedicated they have to be in order to be successful. Especially when it comes to the Olympics, every decision they make goes through the prism of how can I get better at my sport. And so what they choose to eat, how they spend their time, how long they sleep, who they spend time with, what entertainment they do or do not take part in, all of that goes into one singular goal. And so they show immense self-control. And they're doing that for perishable rewards that they're going to have, but at a certain point, even in this world, people aren't going to remember who had that medal. The medal itself will be lost. And even worse, they're not focused on the eternal home. But that's what we should be focused on. But we need to ask ourselves, are we having the same prism that they do? They're making sure that their goal determines every single decision that they have and that they have self-control to focus everything towards that goal. Do our decisions go through that same mindset? Do we show the self-control about those things? And I do think it's important for us to focus on spiritual goals with our self-control. Unfortunately, there are so many ways for us to lose control that a lot of times we can spend our entire life trying to get better at showing self-control on physical goals. And while there is not necessarily anything wrong with that, and in fact sometimes showing self-control in a spiritual or in a physical arena can reflect on what's going on spiritually, we need to make sure that we don't put the perishable in front of the imperishable. And so we need to make sure that we're looking to have self-control when it comes to our spiritual goals and what it is that we're trying to do, which is to get to heaven, to be in a relationship with God. And so we need to have self-control when it comes to refraining from evil. A lot of times we can fall into the trap of thinking that because we want something, because we desire something, because we feel something, we should be able to act based off of those feelings and those desires. And that is flat out not the case. God tells us to ignore those things. He tells us to make sure that we avoid lusting, that we don't lash out in anger, that we don't lie to one another, that we don't have our envy cause us to steal from those around us. But if we're not careful, if we lack self-control, all of a sudden we're saying terrible, evil things to the people closest to us because we are refusing to refrain from evil. And so we can't let that be our mindset. Also, we need to make sure that we choose to do good. It's not just about refraining from evil, but it's also about making good decisions. That means making decisions where we train ourselves to get closer to God, where we read His Word so that we can be more like Him, where we spend time talking to Him and laying our cares on Him. But also in showing His heart, in showing His service to those around us, where we put their needs, what's going on with them, in front of our own. Instead of being selfish, we show self-control and we allow ourselves to be servants to others. And so we need to be asking ourselves again, what am I spending my time doing? How does my day look? Is it something where I am focused on spiritual goals, physical goals? Or am I not even setting any goals at all? Am I just letting my whims and my desires carry me? Because disciples of God will show self-control and will be focused on their imperishable reward. I hope this lesson blesses you in your walk in His kingdom.